Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Power Up today. I know we're just a couple minutes late for that. I apologize, but hope it doesn't set your day off too much. And hopefully, we're able to get through what we want to study through today. And hopefully, you have a great rest of the day today as we consider this Tuesday, December the 5th, 2023. Hope our Power Up does find you well, and hope that. You're getting along during this Christmas season very well. We're now under 3 weeks until Christmas Day, it being December 5th today. We've got obviously Christmas December the 25th. Correct. And excited about that. Hope that you are doing well on this wonderful day. Want to encourage you, hit that share button just really quick. We're going to be in Revelation chapter 15, so follow along here in the scriptures. We're going to try to get through the entirety of this chapter. There are only 8 verses. This chapter is really the chapter that's leading up to the vial judgments, the final judgments of the tribulation. You remember we had the trumpet judgments and the seal judgments. You remember those in the early parts of the tribulation and leading up here into the end of the tribulation. We've looked at these parentheses, if you will, in the timeline, further explaining what is going on, what is coming, all of that. And this is once again leading into the final moments of the tribulation time period. These vile judgments that we'll look at in really chapter number 16, these vile judgments are very rapid in nature. They come one right after another very quickly, and they are full of God's wrath, God's judgment upon mankind, and they'll happen very, very quickly as we come to the end of the tribulation. Obviously, the earth as we know it since the fall, things will be different once Jesus comes and sets his feet upon the earth and begins to rule and reign from Jerusalem. But we're not quite there yet. Let's look at these 7 vile judgments. Let's look, verse number 1. Chapter 15, verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God. And so we have these seven last plagues that God is going to pour out upon the face of the earth. I find it interesting. We're going to kind of see this theme throughout this chapter. We see, first of all, this word plagues. Okay, these 7 vile judgments are going to be very similar to the 10 plagues that God brought upon Egypt in the book of Exodus. Verse number 2, and I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. You consider these people that had what the Bible calls the victory over the beast. Okay, these individuals, they did not bow to the beast. They did not receive the mark of the beast, but rather they stood strong. And you remember, to not receive the mark of the beast meant great difficulty, because they were not able to buy and sell, not able to even provide the basic necessities for themselves, because in order to buy and sell, in order to get food, those types of things, you had to have the mark of the beast. And these individuals had victory. They did not receive the mark of the beast. So God, I believe God provides for these individuals that remain faithful to him. And here we have that they were in victory. They're standing on the sea of glass and having the harps of God. They're worshiping the Lord. And you look at verse number 3, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou art holy. For thou art holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, and for thy judgments are made manifest. And so these that had victory over the beast, so over the mark of the beast, and they remained faithful to the Lord, they're singing the song. They are singing 2 songs, really. The song of Moses. That song of Moses, we read about that song in the book of Exodus. Exodus I believe it's chapter number 15. Exodus chapter number 15 is that Song of Moses. Would encourage you to go back and read that. One of the themes throughout that is that the Israelites say, "The Lord is my strength," and song, and He has become my salvation. He's the strength, He's their song, He's their salvation. And here, these that have remained faithful are singing and worshiping the Lord with the Song of Moses, and then also with the Song of the Lamb. That pretty incredible there as we think about that, the Song of the Lamb. And then I want you to note this is there's, you might remember the other singing that has happened in heaven during this tribulation time period. This 144,000, they sang a song that nobody else could sing. And so we've got the multiple songs being sung in heaven during this time. The Song of Moses, the Song of the Lamb, and then the song that the 144,000 sing. Pretty incredible, this worshiping of the Lord for who He is. Now, let's continue. Verse number 5. And after that I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was opened. 7 angels came out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles. And one of the 4 beasts gave unto the 7 angels 7 golden vials full of the wrath of God, who liveth forever and ever. These vials were probably very similar to bowls, not necessarily very deep bowls. These bowls or these vials were given to these 7 angels. They were full of God's wrath. These 7 angels were going to pour out the wrath upon the earth. And we know verse number 8, and the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from His power, and no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled. And we note that even you go back to the Old Testament, the tabernacle, you go back to the Holy of Holies and so on. That when the temple or the Holy of Holies, the tabernacle, the temple, they were filled with the glory of God. Oftentimes, that the glory of God was evidence in that, and we see the smoke is evidence that God's glory is there, we see that here even in the temple of God, the temple that is in heaven that was filled with smoke with the glory of God from His power, just an incredible sight, I am sure, and look forward to the day to when we can worship the Lord and worship Him in His throne room, in His temple, and we look forward to those days we'll be able to worship God. Until then, though, let me encourage you. Until then, hey, we need to be worshipers of God today, and really, the worshiping of God today is a byproduct of our heart, and is our heart right with Him. A right heart, I believe, leads to the worship of God, and we do that in song. Quite often we praise His name in song. Obviously, worship happens during prayer as well. And worship also, I believe, several different ways in which it's evidence. It's evidence in our giving. It's evidence in our service. But primarily, we see the worship of God being audible from the heart in the form of song. And we've noted that here in chapter number 15 as these that overcame the beast, the image and the mark, and they're singing the Song of Moses and the Song of the Lamb. And it's just incredible. And I look forward to the day to when we can worship the Lord with all those that are in heaven and will be there for all of eternity. It's going to be incredible. And look forward to that day. Now, as we end up chapter number 15 and we get into chapter number 16, you look at verse number 1. We'll just kind of give this to you by way of introduction for tomorrow. It says, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And so we see this command, this great voice out of the temple. Remember, God's the one that is in the temple. Nobody can enter. This great voice comes out of the temple, telling these seven angels, "Go your ways, pour out the vials of wrath of God upon the earth." And so that begins the vial judgments that we'll begin looking at even tomorrow. Okay, we're going to end with that here this morning, and hope that our Power Up did find you well. Once again, thank you so much for being on. Let's greet those that are watching live and that have commented live, and so thankful for those that are online. Cliff and Karen, good morning to you. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day today. Dennis and Geraldine, good morning to you both as well. Brian and Cindy, thank you for being on. Ingrid, good morning to you. Love you and have a great day. And hope that all of you have a wonderful day today. Be sure to hit that share button so that others can jump on later today and check out what it is that we read through and that which we have just briefly kind of commented and studied on here today. All right. Lord bless you all. Have a great day, everybody. Lord willing, we'll touch base again tomorrow. Don't forget, service Wednesday night, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. We'll continue our study through the book of Genesis, and excited about that. Also, our young people will be back at it, a regular night at the Rock, and excited for them. And so be sure and have your young people here as well. That'll be at 6 o'clock. Lord bless you all. Have a great day, everybody.